Welcome to I don't know what this is. It's not a podcast, but this is a unique conversation. David, it's good to meet you in person.
Same here.
My name is Ben McDougal, and I'm the Midwest Regional Rep for 1 Million Cups. And this guy comes up to me. We're at the ESHIP Summit here in Kansas City, 2019. And almost a legend when it comes to 1 Million Cups presenters, man. Tell us what's been going on the last 6 months to a year.
Thank you for having me, Ben. I've always wanted to tell the story. I've told multiple presenters at the event, I'm like, I gotta tell the story. Because I think it's like the best kept secret for entrepreneurs, especially if you're from a small community. Like I'm from a small town of like maybe 50,000 people, Dunedin, on the southwest coast.
In Florida, right?
In Florida,
okay.
yeah, southwest coast of Florida.
Yeah.
And I did not have any resources. Like we have nothing in our community. And so I started researching places to go talk and tell my story. I literally wanted to just tell my story.
Yeah.
And then I found a couple in Tampa Bay, and I applied to them. And the first experience was something I hadn't expected. Like, the first time I went, they were like, well, you need to have a format. And I didn't go prepared with the format. But then I learned, and what I liked about it, and by the way, this is what my favorite part about 1 Million Cups is that across the country, everywhere, and I've gone all the way north. I think Chicago is the highest I've gone, all the way down to Miami, that's the lowest. West, I've gone to San Diego, so covered all the way, and then east. I don't even know how far east I've gone, but I've done New York, I've done St. Paul, Minneapolis. I don't know what's the eastmost, but New York probably.
What's the count right now?
I don't know, it's over 30. I've stopped counting. I said, I'm going to count again when it gets to 40. So,
so there's 183 communities as of right now. Yeah. So you still got some work to do, but man, exactly. You're hammering through them.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the consistency of the 1MC experience. Now, I kind of cut you off. You were about to share your favorite thing about 1 Million Cups. So start with that, but then maybe segue into what you've seen as far as the consistency as you've gone from chapter to chapter.
Yeah. So the secret is that wherever I've gone, the one thing that's been the same. There's always a unique flavor of the city. There's the flavor of the audience. In some communities, lots of investors. In some community, a lot of entrepreneurs. It changes community to community. But the one thing that's been consistent, and I was telling somebody today that people need to study how this ended up happening. The organizers are exactly the same everywhere. And I've done a lot of events, and I do events every week. So 1MC is just one of the things I do when I travel. I do other pitch competitions. I do many other things in every city. The one consistent organization is 1MC because it's attracted the same people with the same DNA, which is almost impossible to replicate because it's not like you guys have like a really stringent, like it's not like you have to like go through training and you have to go through like 5 interviews. Like it's not like you have to like be trained to do this. You bring community volunteers, but I feel like you guys have been able to keep that essence of the 1MC presenters, and that's been the same. I literally will show up and I know exactly how they're going to treat me, how they're going to go through the flow, and another secret, I go there truly to connect with the community. I'm not going there as a marketing ploy at all. Like I truly am excited about learning from the community. I'm always giving it my 100%, learning and then going back and fixing it, which is the true reason why 1MC was created, was to help communities like refine their pitch, to get their business started, to connect with the community. Every business that I've gotten to this day, and we're close to being profitable by the end of the year for a SaaS company, that's unheard of, because the first year in a SaaS company's life cycle, you just build and then you sell. In our first 16 months will be profitable. Every single client we've gotten has come through 1MC, not directly, but through a network that has 1MC somewhere along the way, which is also like incredible, right? So for any entrepreneur who's listening, this is the platform of choice to launch a business. Right? Like literally is the platform of choice. Like for example, even if I stop today and not did 1MC anymore, I've gotten a solid ground to build off of.
Sure.
But I'm doing this because I'm such a huge fan of this that I'm almost like addicted to doing it. And I can't stop.
Really? I can't tell.
So anyway, that's kind of the secret behind 1MC, and then I can talk a little bit more about like what I've learned and stuff.
Yeah, so one of my like hard questions for you right off the bat, just to be blunt, was like, is there a point where you start to not learn? 1 Million Cups is educational at its core, and so that part of education is presenting and learning from the perspectives of these other communities. But at a certain point, do the questions become duplicative, or after 30 plus times, is there still a seed of learning or still a key takeaway? And do you feel like that will always be, or talk a little bit about like doing this much and that aspect?
No, I think there will come a point where I will have finally perfected my pitch, right? There will come that point. But, and another lesson for all entrepreneurs is that if you're not ready to pivot, you're going to fail like in the first 2 months. There is no entrepreneur that I know who's started with an idea that actually became the real business. By the time it became a business, it had gone through maybe 5-10 iterations.
Yeah.
And that's why going to all these 1MCs have been critical, because I'm able to use this almost as a way to be able to do what we call in software development, rapid prototyping, agile methodology. It's almost become like those agile sprints. Every 1MC makes that product better, and I'm still not there yet. I still haven't gotten to the point where my pitch is perfect enough that I can get to my target audience and they'll be like, that's what we do.
Another question for you. So an entrepreneur presents at their local community. Why would they want to go an hour and a half, spend their time, maybe even spend some money in order to do it, even if it's just one other time?
Because by the time you've presented the first time and you went back home, your business model has changed. And now you need to actually go back and represent because you now have a new business
from
model.
the evolved situation. Yeah. Okay, now flip the script. For organizers who are receiving applications from folks they might not recognize locally, what's some thoughts on being welcoming to those folks, and how can they thicken the experience for a visiting entrepreneur within their 1MC experience?
Yep. So if you are a community that truly has, 52 times 2, 110 entrepreneurs who start businesses in your community, more power to you. But if typically that's not the case, I think
pipeline is one of the biggest challenges for organizers.
Yeah. And the way to do it is to actually allow external entrepreneurs to come, because every community I've gone, I've enriched that community by giving their entrepreneurs something to think about. And so every community I've gone, there's been some collaboration with their community, with the entrepreneurs in the community. And so the ones that have actually opened up and said, hey, you can come to my community, even though, we would like to promote our own entrepreneurs, rather than just have a filler for the day, why don't we let an external entrepreneur come in? They have actually ended up creating more opportunities for the community. So I think cross-pollination is key to actually having vibrant communities, and it should not be looked at as a secondary option.
Right.
Where possible, you should promote entrepreneurs, because it also has cross-pollination of ideas.
Nice. One of the interesting things that I have talked to a lot of people about is like, all right, say I'm in Des Moines and you're traveling from Indianapolis. If you come into Des Moines and have a really wonderful, you get there at night, we have dinner, you're introduced to some key people that were strategically chosen, you enjoy your 1MC moment, that's magic, but then you might parlay it to the afternoon activity within that ecosystem. All of a sudden, you go back to Indianapolis, man, Des Moines was hot, and now Des Moines is almost benefiting from the storytelling of that visiting entrepreneur. And so, along with helping pipeline, you're also showcasing your community in a positive, welcoming vibe.
I do that with every community. So, for example, call out to Tyler. He's another really active 1MC coordinator. I actually went, and I do that typically. I did that with Steve as well. Go there the night before and meet with them, meet with the community. I actually invest time in being part of that community, learning from them, and then the next day is more powerful, because if you're not building relationships in your journeys, you've missed a huge part of it. It's not just
all
about
the cool people you've met is worth more than any dollar you spent. That's got to be inspiring and energizing. I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about this, but I am curious. This involves time, but also a lot of money. How much have you invested? I mean, I assume most of the communities aren't covering travel or accommodations, and so you're making these moves on the company's resources.
So I won't tell you how much I spent on my business, but I'll tell you how much I've spent on the travel itself. Yeah. So it's been a few $1,000s, but you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur as a second-time entrepreneur doing this. I knew what I was getting into, so I saved up. I had like incredible amount of airline miles. I invested all my miles into travel. I had over like 600,000 miles.
Nice.
So all my family vacations
That's
are gone.
clutch.
Yeah. So,
have you taken your family on any of these trips?
no, not yet.
Okay,
No, I have a 20-month-old child. So
that's
it's
a startup that pays in love.
That's right. Yeah, and it's like starting a business is like raising a child, and I get to do both at the same time.
So, as we kind of close up the quick chat here, I'm curious if you could share maybe some of the magic moments or things that are really resonate in your travels.
Yeah, so I've got like a few highlights.
We're recording a little podcast. Yeah, no worries.
Loud enough. Yeah. So there have been a few highlights in terms of like unique presentations.
Yeah.
One that was a huge highlight was I got to present in front of 150 incubators at St. Paul, Minneapolis at the INBIA conference. So I was selected from one of the many alumni who had presented as one to present, which was amazing. Another one was I presented in Chicago at the same building where 5 years back I had gone to launch another company of mine. When I had at a business, it was at the Chicago Mart. And it was a import-export business, and they had an exposition there I presented. So it was like homecoming of sort to come there with another business. There have been, of course, there have been other, like, I don't want to say lowlights, but situations where it's not like always rosy. Like it's not like you're always going to have 150 people in the room, right?
Sure. That's a good quick segue.
Yeah.
Have you had experiences where maybe there's only 15, 20 people there, but yet you still come away just really on fire, or the value is high?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. The count actually doesn't matter.
Size doesn't equal success. Yeah.
It's really the quality of the people in the room, and that quality is always there. I've had business deals in 1MCs where there are only like, I think there was like 10 people in the room, but somebody came to me and said, "Oh my God, I'd love to partner with you." And I was like, "Wow, like that's really unexpected, So there have been like a couple instances where there's only like 5 people in the room, and I still had so much value because they, in turn, those 5 people all got up and made a connection in the community for me. Right? And so, like you said, it's the quality of the participants.
One strategy, if you're watching this, that I've seen work well is like build a little mini network of where you're headed. Social media is pretty easy to see who's active within that 1 Million Cups community, and so whether that's Twitter or Facebook, whatever it is, connecting with those folks and almost providing a personal invite, like, "Hey, I'm headed your way, and it looks like you're pretty active in the community. I'd love to have you there to get your perspective." And now all of a sudden you've got some friends there. Once again, enjoying the moment, but then staying connected, following up. Have you done a good job, I suppose, of following up and maintaining those network connectivity?
Absolutely. We actually do a huge social media blitz for every city we go to. So the week before, so on all our social media pages, we tag them, we follow them, we put pictures, and so we're like very active on social media. Like that's a great tip.
Nice.
We do that for every community we go to, and then that's easy to follow up because now we're following their pages, they're following us, and then we're like.
Any shout outs for communities that might have gotten loud for you?
Daytona Beach for sure.
That's 2, Tyler.
Yeah, and I've been there twice too. So.
Well, now you got to start the refill tour. Going back to all 30 of these to revisit the evolved situation.
Exactly, and I need to like do like anniversary tour with some of these. Like I was like, I got to go back to Kansas City for the 50th one. Nice. But
well, this has been super interesting. Any kind of final thoughts as we wrap up the chat?
Like I said, like I would just repeat what I said about that best kept secret. Like you guys, like if you're an entrepreneur listening, that's it. The cat's out of the bag. Just go apply for 1MC blindly. You will be pleasantly surprised about how much value you get in return.
Yeah. So 1millioncups.com is an easy place to type in your state, figure out where the local community is. I would encourage you to attend before you present, so you're not shooting yourself in the foot. You understand the environment you're getting into. But what you might find is, along with the chance to learn and connect with others, it's a weekly dose of innovative energy for yourself. And so even being a part of the attendees and the community and learning from the presenters, it's easy to like in this lonely roller coaster we call entrepreneurship. So David, thanks. Really appreciate you sharing your story, pal.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Cheers.